So I got everything laid out here. Got the clutch and engine and transmission mounts, front and rear shocks, inner outer tie rod ends, sway bar links, ball joints, lights for in the bumper, the shifter and the boot, rear main seal. I'm glad I actually did buy all the steering components because while driving the vehicle, I knew something just did not feel right at all while driving it. The front felt kind of loose, and upon jacking it up, I noticed that sway bar link, it pretty much left the chat. It gave up. I guess 35 years of hanging on, that'll do it to a guy. Those are crusty. Got them ordered with pads. Might just get those rotors turned because when I do use the brakes when driving it, they feel fine. There's no vibration or nothing or grabbing. Check the wheel bearings. Got to pull them off and check them, repack them. All of the lines and everything all the way around look good on the car. I went down and picked up some new stuff today. Bypass hose, U-joints, and an output shaft seal, some grease for everything. And some of this stuff, because it runs a little more than I'd like to temperature-wise. I don't want it to run that hot. I got more parts coming. They're ordered and on the way. In fact, my 3-core aluminum radiator should be here today. It's supposed to be, with my electric fan to get rid of that clutch fan. Cannot find a lower radiator hose to save my ass right now, so I'm gonna have to do some more research online and find out what is so special about that lower radiator hose that nobody seems to carry them or can get them. Did order the upper radiator hose. Like I said, I'm about to get these shocks replaced on the front. But there's more going on here. Also, the exhaust decided to give up as well. A few days ago, I went to take it up the road. I had to go to the parts store for something and decided it was nice out, wanted to drive it. Because let's face it, who wouldn't want to drive it? Just had one hell of a storm come through here and get the garage all wet. But, so now, I'm kind of having to decide, do I want to keep the factory headers on here, or do I want to replace them and just do a whole entire exhaust? These cars did come factory installed headers. I might just go ahead and replace them and get nice new ones on there. As you can see, those motor mounts are pretty crusty. They're just all cracked up and broke, and of course my camera's not going to cooperate. That's cool. That's all right. That's okay. Well, you can see it right there. Also thinking about going to a HEI ignition, a distributor, and get rid of this Never Start, because these things are freaking junk. I don't give a shit what you say, what you think, but that truck right there also has the same distributor style. Yeah, they're just junk. Those things get hot, they leave you sit. Yeah, they overheat. It's the worst freaking design Ford ever came up with. Also going to do an EGR delete and smog pump delete. So I've got stuff to get to the back of the head back there to take a couple hoses off and put restrictor plates or fill plates on them, block off plates, whatever the hell you want to call them. So when I do the exhaust, I don't have to worry about none of the crossover pipe and emissions and bullshit, because I don't need emissions. Like I said, I have classic plates, so don't need emissions. So that's where we're at so far with the Mustang. Bring back to life, rebuild, chop, cut, whatever, slap around. I did order new mounts for the radiator as well. Well, I didn't order them. I picked out the ones I wanted, but I'm waiting for that radiator to get here to make sure that this style of mount will actually, or bracket, will work with the 3-core that I ordered. Because if not, I'm going to have to get the aftermarket where it goes over the top and down onto here and like fastens down across the front. Also, When I put the hood down on this vehicle, being fiberglass and whatnot, it's very light. So when it does latch, the sides here like to just kind of bounce up and down just a little bit. Not a lot, but it's enough for me that I can notice it, and it just irks the shit out of me. It bugs me. So I'm also going to order a set of the push pin style. You just kind of push the button and it springs up and then releases the hood. Nothing crazy. No, I'm not pushing 700 horsepower or racing down a track at 8 seconds and a quarter mile and need to rip my hood off real quick and all that shit, but I like them. They are convenient, and if installed properly, they work pretty good. So, yeah, I'm hoping within the next maybe 2 days or so, I have that transmission out, the exhaust dropped, drive shaft out, the bell housing, clutch, pressure plate throwout bearing. I got a vehicle speed sensor coming for it as well, because when I'm doing 65, it says I'm doing 80. So that's a little off. I know that's bad. But got to get that rear main seal put in. I do have to order one more thing. The Velpro makes kind of like I don't even know what you call it. It's not really so much a gasket or anything, but it goes around the end of your crank. So if for any reason maybe your crank may be a little worn down, or it's like a gasket saver actually. It slides over the end of your crank against the block. So I got to get that. But we're moving along at a snail's pace. This is my first day of my week off from work. Hoping I can get everything done and put together, replaced, fixed, before I have to go back to work next week. So once everything is done, I mean, obviously I still got to order the exhaust and make my decision on the headers. Not only if I'm going to replace them, am I going to go shorty or long tube. May do either high flow cats or mill eliminators to trick the computer into thinking they have cats on it and everything's cool. I don't know. 2.5 inch, I gotta order all that. That's probably another $1,000 in exhaust. So we'll get her fixed up and back on the road. And then once that's all said and done, I also did order new window sweeps, because that lets water in right there. And new seals for around the doors and the trunk. Also, new lock cylinders for both doors and the trunk, because, well, they just don't work. She's tired. She's 35 years old. But at 124,000 miles on the engine, it runs great. So runs, drives, stops, shifts, all that good stuff. All the lights work. Everything works on the vehicle except for the AC, which that's the old R12 style. I got to get a kit to adapt it to 134A. If I decide to even keep it, I don't know, because, well, I just put windows down. I mean, it's only going to be driven in the summertime, and the way I work, I ain't got a lot of time to drive the damn thing. But yeah, I will add more as stuff goes on and stuff gets replaced, fixed, and put on, and get her all sanded down eventually. I'm going to try to save these because they are a pain in the complete ass to change these. You got to get in there and remove the whole back seat, pretty much all the molding, seat belt fasteners, like everything, just to get to the back glass, because you can't just replace a seal, or you can't like just peel that off and pop a new one in. This whole glass has to come out. Pain in the ass. But these are still good. Not really sure what color I want to go with it. I'm thinking maybe like an electric red or something, maybe like a factory Ford Mustang red color. I do want to add some metallic to it, but I also can't decide if I want to go gray from the top of the bump guard there down, like they came from the factory, most of them did, like a metallic silver gray, or if I want to do the whole car one color. I have not decided that either. it is going to get an epoxy sealer because I'm going to try to get rid of as much of this paint as I can. I don't want layers on layers, you know. As you can see, this is the factory paint because that's bare metal right there where the paint chips off. So it's going to get an epoxy sealer, at least 3 coats of high build primer so I can block the whole thing, and then decide on the color of the paint. And even though these all work and there's nothing really wrong with them other than the fact that this bugs me, how the seal goes back in behind there. 1-piece or 3-piece lights. If anybody even bothers to watch this video, put it down in the comments what you think I should do with that. Keep it like a 3-piece design or a solid 1-piece. But I am going to replace maybe the headlight itself, or just get some maybe like HIDs or LED bulbs in there. So I think that's where we'll pretty much be at with this video, and eventually this will have to be addressed. There's a crack. Can hardly see it, but I guess you can. Side mirrors, I'm not a fan of how small these are either. They're just so tiny you really can't even use them. I've got a whole bunch of other mirrors in here. Cards, they actually came with the car, but I think they're all the same. So might see what I can do for a different style of mirror. Also the rear view mirror, it's funky, so I'm gonna replace that, get a new one in there. Lots of stuff going on, but I'm just a guy trying to work on a car and make it look good. So yeah, comment down in the section if you even bother watching the video. Throw some ideas on the headlights, the color of the paint, how to paint it, and we can carry on from there. Hope you enjoyed the video.